What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. This will be the second video this week. The other one was a ride video with KX250. I'm hoping I can get out riding again and get you guys another video, but today we're actually going to be working on these and the trailer. The reason the trailer needs some work is it's a 1994 and it's been neglected a lot. So I got a whole bunch of parts for it, so we're going to go do that, as well as I'm gonna kind of show you guys the new sleds for this year and do a little bit of work on them as well. So the reason this trailer needs so much work is, one, it's a 94. I got it for 350 bucks off of Facebook Marketplace, I think 2 years ago. The only thing I have done to it was put in that taillight over there. The rest of these all still work. That one got pushed in last year when I was putting the SRX on here. The carbide hit it. It is a tilt trailer. Tilt works pretty well. When I got it, the people who had it before me were using it for like a lawnmower trailer. So they put all new wood on. I put on the carbide guides, as well as I had picked up a cheap 121-inch track. That was all. It was shot. There was no using it again. So I cut it up and used them for traction mats. These are the new sleds. This is a 2012 Arctic M8, 153-inch track. It's got a Evolution Power Sports can on it, Fox shocks all the way around, handlebar riser, and then I think other than that, it's mostly stock. I think it's a 2.5-inch paddle, I believe. Oh, I suppose this isn't stock, but that needs to go. So if anyone has an Arctic flap, I will trade you straight up. I'll pay shipping too if I can get one like that that's in good shape, because frankly I'm not a huge fan of this one. It does have a hitch for my ice house, which is over there, and it does have aftermarket running boards. I guess that is one thing that it has. I'm gonna mount a box here. That'll be one of the projects for today. I don't know if I'm gonna recover the seat or not. I might just run it this year. Being that's a 2012, I'm hoping I can upgrade again next year. But for now, this is gonna be the one that's the mountain sled this year. And then this one is a 2012 F800, mostly stock. It's got a BMP can on it, trail can, Fox Float 2 shocks. It's got brand new Hyfax on it. It is a Snow Pro one, so it's got some of the extra goodies on there. It is studded. I think it's got 96 studs in it last I counted, but I could easily have messed up the counting. It does have a wrap on it, but in that it's mostly stock. I'm gonna put a little more air in the shock, see if I can get it to lift up a little bit. The last guy who had it weighed a little bit less than me. He's like a 15-year-old. But yeah, so that's the project for today on both of these sleds. Hi, Bailey. Are you gonna help me with the trailer? You better. All right, let's go get the tires. All right, these are things I'm most excited about for the trailer. Instead of just getting tires, it was actually cheaper just to get 2 new tires and 2 new wheels, and the other wheels are pretty shot. I'll show you those when we pull them off there. So I'm gonna bring these out there and we'll get these put on. Everyone always complains about pulling these things across the shop floor. Try pulling them across the lawn. So this is why these needed to be changed. The paint is mostly chipping off here. I'm gonna guess the rim still would be solid in terms of like integrity, but 1, it looks bad. 2, all little salt pockets and stuff in here that are gonna start when the snow starts falling, and I live in Minnesota, so they salt the roads. It's just gonna continue to erode away at that metal on there. And 2, you can tell they're not wearing very evenly over here. This tire is really bad. This is actually the spare that was a primary tire till the wheel bearing went out. and I didn't notice while I was going on the road, and it started wearing out the inside of the tire. So this wheel's still pretty good. That's mostly just grease and everything from the wheel bearing exploding, but these are much better. I got the same kind of tire. One, they were cheap, and two, the reviews are pretty good on them. And then it's just a powder coated rim. All right, so these were about at 60 to 70 psi. They can take 150 max. I'm put about 125 in them. See where the ride height is at that point. I don't really care about having a hard ride at all. I just wanted to be a little bit taller, being that the trails around here don't really get groomed. Shout out to my buddy Chase. He's got a 2008 M1000 that's got air shocks, and he's letting me borrow this thing to get this thing all tuned up. All right, well, this one actually only has about 50 in it, so we're going to put about 75 more pounds in it and see where that gets us. All right, 125, 126, and holding pressure. So let's see what that looks like now. All right, and then the rear shocks on this skid are not air shocks. They are just regular charged ones and spring shocks. They do have some adjustments on them if I wanted to. I think I'll probably wait until I actually get to ride it to make those adjustments. Happy to see the limiter straps aren't shortened all the way, so that's good. It means this thing really hasn't been ripped on too hard. Everything looks like it's in pretty good shape, honestly. I haven't seen any cracks or bends in the rails, nothing like that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna lower the front down and we'll see what the ride height looks like at that point. All right, I'm a lot happier with that ride height in the front. I'll pop in a picture right up here of how low it used to be. It used to almost look like a drag sled, but obviously I know it's not an off-road or off-trail sled for the most part. Doesn't have paddle track. It's not like that one. But being that I'm going to take the hitch off this one and put it on here to pull my ice house out there, I want to have a little more clearance just in case we do get drifts, because up here, not very many hills, but we do get pretty crazy drifts. So I'm happy with that. So check on that job being done. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this hitch, which actually mates it perfectly to my clam nook ice house. It's a 2-person thermal flip over. Oh, Bailey's wondering what we're doing. But I'm going to take this one, I'm going to put it onto that. This is going to be mostly the trail sled, the ice fishing sled, stuff like that. This one's going to be more off-road, and frankly, when this thing runs, it rattles, which gets extremely annoying. So I'm going to do that next. This is definitely one of the more interesting GoPro mounts I've used to get the shot, but anything to get the shot, right? Nice. All right, and that's how that's gonna be. Doesn't block the tail light, won't hit the tail light. I mean, this is literally like a product from Arctic Cat, so I would hope it won't mess that up. But I'm also realizing like how dirty this thing is. So might have to take them and get them washed. I know the bike needs to be washed too. But this rig is just a giant fun rig. Truck can go off-road, dirt bike goes off-road, and then these be awesome. All right, next job is this windshield. I have taken Goo-Gone, I've taken cutting agent, I've taken buffer stuff. This isn't adhesive from a sticker. It literally is like pitted out plastic. This is the original windshield that comes on these, I believe. That's what the guy told me. I do a lot of off trail riding, so this thing will probably wind up getting rolled over when I get stuck because I'm only like 150 pounds. So my thought is to get a smaller windshield. I picked this one up locally from a guy. It's actually off of a Snow Pro, a ZR chassis or an F chassis. And I'm curious if putting the shorter windshield like that would look okay on this. There is still green on this thing. I'm gonna be putting a poll on my channel's Instagram. You guys can go in there and vote if you could, and just kind of let me know what you think. I can always buy another bigger windshield. I don't really care about the wind deflection all that much. This one does have a few cracks. It is in kind of rough shape. But yeah, go on my Instagram and tell me what you guys like. This is what this one looks like right now. I'll put the other one on and I'll show you what it looks like as well. Alright, so that's what it looks like with the Snow Pro windshield on it. The only issue I can see so far, there's a little bit of a gap here. My guess is that this piece right here is a little bent, but I can fix that. I'm not too worried about that. I can always get a filler piece put in there as well. That's the only issue I'm seeing right there. I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of weird being the only like big green part on the sled, but that's all right. Up top, this is how it looks, which might be a little nicer, honestly. Definitely not going to be any wind deflection though, which is all right, not a huge deal. But yeah, also that's another mount for the GoPro. All right, next project for them is to get this thing mounted up. This was the box and shovel that I had built just using a Harbor Freight Apache box. Stickers gone, obviously. Little $19 adjustable shovel from, I think I got it from L&M. And then some Rhino clamps just off of Amazon. Had it bolted onto the back of the 04 Skidoo Summit 800. Pop a picture up right here of what that used to look like. Just gotta try to figure out how to get it on the M8 now, because in here, hopefully there's no mice or anything in here. That would not be cool. It's insulated, kind of, with this foam. I keep my GoPro stuff in here as well as a water bottle. And spark plugs when I had the Summit, because I think it would always foul plugs. But it's waterproof. But yeah, I want this to be able to hold GoPro stuff so I don't have to carry a backpack. Alright, so the idea I have to mount this, I would like to put it here, but I also don't want to have too much weight out the back. I'm not saying this thing's very heavy. But my Summit, I was able to drill right down through the tunnel, because the tunnel in the Summit was hollow here and the cooler was up here. Well, on this sled, the cooler is right there, so I can't really just drill into it. But I don't have a gas thing that fits in here. I don't know what Arctic Cat runs. I know Skidoo uses like the link system, but my plan is to get a couple U-bolts that'll go around these, that'll come up, and then there'll be 2 bolts in here, and I can just use the existing holes in here, drill another one, and do U-bolt here, and then a U-bolt somewhere in here on the rod that's got to go through here to mount this here. Then we'll keep the weight off the back, and we can use this existing mounting system here. And then the shovel will also be able to stick off the back and not get hit here, mess with the snow flap, and I can also take advantage of all of my running board, so I won't have to deal with kicking a shovel or anything like that. It also gives me room to mount my snowboard on here if I want to do that as well. All right, so I went and picked up some, like, what are they called? U-bolt. I figured that's what they were called. But anyway, I went and picked up some U-bolts, and they fit in here perfectly. So my plan is to run these and that little plate up to the bottom of this, put this where it's got to go with the measuring, or you got to measure where it goes, drill a new hole like that somewhere in here, probably just wallow out one of these, and then fit it up to here, and then I should have a box on the mount. All right, so got the box installed. It isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but you're not going to see it. There's going to be foam in there. But I'm pretty sure you could probably lift up this entire sled by this box. So it's just 4 U-bolts with 8 bolts. Latches in right under there. I did wind up having to move this one up from this hole to here. So I do have a little bit more room if I wanted to put something in here. Probably wind up putting like a belt or something here. But I wanted to make sure I could still open up the cover with the seat being right here. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this, because I think this is probably only going to get worse. It's probably going to wind up getting a good old Gorilla Tape job, but this whole seat's kind of whooped. I got a tear here, and I don't know. We'll see. But yes, this is the here. I'm going to put all the rest of the accessories on it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. And that's how it's going to look. Being that it's up on this mount, it keeps this above the bumper, so it's not going to catch the track. Nothing, the ground's not going to catch it, which is nice. And I still have plenty of room to mount other things as well. The way it's designed too, and the wind is blowing this way, even if these clamps come off, which they never really do, they won't blow open. The only downside of this design is the rubber gets in the way sometimes, but that's not a big deal. I can always just flip these over and put them on the bottom too. But for now, that's what I'm going to do with that one. I'm not going to put anything on this one. Being that this thing will usually be used for trail stuff. It's got the nice Arctic Cat bag here. And then when I do go ice fishing, I can just put all the extra gear in the actual ice house itself. So I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, I think that's a wrap on today's video. Got a lot done on these, and we're just kind of waiting for the snow.